Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Basketball in March on Coach Cove's B-Ball Breakdowns. As always, I am Coach Cove. If you've been to the channel before, you know how it works. We take a look at the final minutes of a couple close basketball games and just break down the film and see how guys are getting their buckets, see which teams are playing the best right now. This first matchup we got is an SEC battle between Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Both teams playing some really good ball. There's like 7 teams in the SEC who have 20 wins. You got Missouri, Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Mississippi State, and Arkansas, who are all really bubble teams at this point. Above them, you have Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and Alabama. So 9 teams are separated by about 3 games, with the exception of Alabama, who is leading the conference by 2 games. But from A&M all the way down to Arkansas, each of those teams are all 17 wins or better. Kentucky, on the other hand, they're coming off a big win against Auburn. They took a loss to Georgia in the middle of last month, coming off a loss to Arkansas. They lost to Arkansas by 15, and then they lost to Georgia by 8. And now we got this matchup versus Vanderbilt. So let's get into this review. On this first possession, we're going to have Vanderbilt trying to get a touch inside. We get some post action going. It's sort of a cross screen, and then it becomes an elevator, sort of double ball screen up, double down screen rather. But this is an off-balance shot. You can see on this screen, we have Frederick right here, number 1 in white. Kentucky defender, he's just going to follow the double screen all the way up. And when you've got this guy behind you, he's literally just running. He's looking at your numbers and chasing you. This has got to be more of a curl rather than a fade to the three-point line. You got to make Tshiebwe. Right now, no one's guarding you. Tshiebwe is the only man stopping you from getting to the hoop. And you got to make him make that play. Frederick right here, this Kentucky defender, isn't going to make a play because he's literally looking at your numbers. So if you curl this screen a little bit harder, forces Tshiebwe to step in this lane, and if he doesn't, then you just have a bounce pass for an easy layup. But if Tshiebwe were to step in this lane, then that frees up another Kentucky player right here, or another Vanderbilt player rather right here. So we could either get a post pop out here and get a look, or even set a screen on Reeves right here for Manjon, number 5 in Vanderbilt. Number 5 in black right here. If this curl happens and Tshiebwe has to step in the lane, then these two are now our guys that we want to get the ball to. It's an easy another pin down and a 3-look or a post pop. You see how much separation Tshiebwe has just because he's chasing him. Tshiebwe has to get up here because he realizes it's almost just a reaction. You can see it. You can see Tshiebwe react to the realization that he's the only one in front of this guy right here, and he's got to help off the curl. But this just isn't the best look. It's actually an air ball, so Toppin's got the rebound, and Reeves is bringing it up the other way. Between Tshiebwe, Toppin, and Chris Livingston, number 24, number 34, number 0, all like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" dudes who can literally guard the perimeter and switch on the wings and do a lot that's good defensively. Toppin goes right at Lawrence, and he realizes that just one dribble move, I can get a step on my guy and get to the rim. Lawrence, you can see he's sagging off Toppin. He gives him a step. He knows he's a bit of a slower defender up near the three-point line. So once Toppin gets it, you can see Toppin's not really a three-point threat, especially from, a step or 2 beyond the line. So Lawrence gives him a step right here, just trying to stay in front, move your feet. He cuts him off the first time, makes him change direction. But once that happens, Toppin pretty much gets a good step on him, puts Lawrence on his hip, but Lawrence is able to make a defensive play, just being a big body and staying somewhat decently in front, and going straight up, making it a difficult shot. And you can see Toppin goes off 1 foot here. It's just not, he doesn't go into the defender. He lets the defender alter his shot, and it's off 1 foot. You always want to go off 2 feet when you're taking a layup because you have a lot better chance to get fouled if you go off 2 feet rather than just 1. With 1 foot, 1 hand, it's a lot easier to lose the ball or just not get as clean of a look. But going off 2 feet, it lets you go up into the defender, which is exactly what Toppin failed to do on that one. But Tshiebwe is able to get the rebound and stuff it home. Toppin, if he were to go off 2 feet and go up strong into the defender, he has a lot better chance to get a foul call and make the hoop. But instead, we'll just see it one more time. He goes off 1 foot, and it's off balance, and it's falling away from the hoop. And that's why he doesn't get the foul call or the bucket. So here comes Vanderbilt on the other end. Number 5 right here is Ezra Manjon. He goes off that double staggered ball screen here, but again, here's Lawrence. I was talking about Toshibwe playing defense on the wing. He's probably the slowest one they got between Livingston and Toppin of their bigger defenders who play the wing. He does a good enough job here against Lawrence, but that's only because Lawrence, as we just saw on the other end of the court, is not the quickest guy on his feet either. Toshibwe is all the way on this three-point line, so he's not going to let Lawrence just shoot it. So Lawrence uses the pump fake, and he gets past Toshibwe a little bit, but Toshibwe is just a big body, and he stuffs it back in the face of Lawrence. Again, how many feet did he go off of? 1 foot. And you're not going to get rewarded by doing that. You can see 1 foot falling away. And on this possession down here, we see the same thing. 1 foot falling away. 1 foot falling away. So Reeves gets this fast break, little transition look, and he gets a foul on Manjon on the floor. They're in the bonus, so Antonio Reeves is heading to the line. Misses the front end of the one-on-one. So Ezra, number 5 right here, Ezra Manjon, he really wants the ball in this possession. You're going to see him run off a couple screens right here. There's one. He's coming up. He wants another one from right here. Gets the handoff. Kentucky's doing a good job on the perimeter. You see Livingston following him around the entire way. Or I'm sorry, Antonio Reeves is following him around the entire trip. They stay, no switch, and they play really good defense right there. These guys just create a path. They sag off. Livingston sags off of right. Toshibwe sags off of this Vanderbilt player, number 42, on this handoff, just so that Reeves has the opportunity to get through and stay in front. They both sag off. You can see the separation created. He goes right through and right through again. That's pretty textbook right there. You even get Toshibwe putting a hand on him, putting a hand on his own guy, Reeves, right here, to have him stay in front. We'll just see it one more time in real speed. This is textbook defense right here from Calipari and Kentucky. It's sag off, go through, sag off, get through. And now we're in front and we're defensive position is good. We got 8 seconds on the clock and they're going to have one look and we got to get a stop. So it's Manjon. Again, we switched this screen we switched it this time and we forced Manjon to take another off-balance, hard fadeaway shot, and it's another air ball for Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt's had an air ball, an off-balance layup that didn't go off 1 foot, and another air ball on their 3 last possessions. But this time, Antonio Reeves coughs it up in a bad spot. He gets a step right here on Tyron Lawrence, number 0. Gets to the rim, but the help comes. Help isn't even honestly there, number 42. He's late getting here. Antonio Reeves could take this thing all the way in and land on 2 feet, make a pump fake, and then go from there. Either shoot it, draw foul, or kick out after that. But what you don't do is leave your feet and try and get this look. You're just playing rushed basketball at this point. You're not playing within yourself. You're not slowing the game down in your head enough. Antonio right here, number 12. And it turns into a turnover. It's good defense from Manjon. He really reads this play and jumps the passing lane right here and is able to come away with a steal. So they show it on this replay. Again, this turnover from Antonio Reeves. He leaves his feet. You can see the help. The help isn't there. There's no one blocking you to get to the rim. It's coming, but it's not there yet. So you gather early before the help comes, before you even need to. Reeves has his step. He's got him on his hip. But by pulling up early, he lets him get back in front, and it's really affected by this ball defender right here. The pass pulls up early, lets Lawrence affect him, and leaves his feet to pass. Easy jump for Manjon, and they get the steal. Here's some SEC standings. You can see Vanderbilt and Kentucky are separated by 2 games, and down to 9, it's Mississippi State and Arkansas are 8 and 9, and they also have 20 wins apiece almost and are positive in the conference. So after this one, though, Vanderbilt's going to have a real tough time telling anyone that they shouldn't be in the conference or shouldn't be in the March Madness tournament. They've beaten now Kentucky and Tennessee all within the last month. They are good in these close games. They've got quad 1 wins in the conference. This will be their 10th victory in the SEC. And if they can get to 20 wins by the end of the season, I would feel a lot better about their chances. They have one more opportunity in March in the regular season before the conference tournament. So if they can win that game and then win 2 games in the tournament, their chances are looking pretty good to me. But those last couple teams down there, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Florida, bubble teams at this point. Auburn is even sort of a bubble team right now, after taking a 30-some point loss to Kentucky. So we've seen it a couple times now while I was talking, but the inbound look, this is really a good look. It kicks out, and then we got screen the screener. Ready for it? Once it goes in, screen the screener. There it goes. So it's number 12. That's Trey Thomas. He's actually setting 2 screens before he even gets one. It's just really weird the way it develops. It looks like a play called to me from the head coach over here, but the timing is off. The first screen comes and it doesn't go in immediately, so we're looking for our second option here. But number 5's calling it out, Manjon. He's telling him, go in with it, because no, Trey Thomas is setting one for Manjon, but 42 is kind of giving the play away. You can see he's already cheating in. He started all the way out here, and then after he makes a pass, boom, it takes away the spacing that we had. It was good spacing, and now he takes it away by cheating in. I'm benching this dude in close games the rest of the way just because of this possession. He's ruining this possession. So it goes in, and now the screen comes. Timing way off. Cheated it. But we still get a good look because CJ Frederick can't play off-ball defense. We've seen that twice now. This dude also not going to be in there at the end of the game for me anymore because he's proven that he can't play off-ball defense. Gets pinned twice on 2 screens, down screens, off the ball, on nearly back-to-back possessions. He's just late. He's flat-footed, and he's not – I don't know if he's not paying attention mentally, not understanding where he needs to be on the court, but at this point, he's not between the ball and his man. And here's Toshibwe. He's clogging everything up. But he also lets Trey Thomas set a good screen here and then doesn't help out on the screen at all. He gets himself out of position. If Toshibwe wasn't as big as he was, this is an easy look for Manjon because Reeves is not playing this off-ball screen well. Reeves gets pinned. I'm sorry, Frederick rather, is not playing this off-ball screen well. Reeves gets pinned, and then Frederick gets out of position, no longer between my man and the ball, and Manjon's cutting through. So Reeves gets through, and now Frederick gets pinned for this open 3. Look, that's an on-balance 3. That's in rhythm and is a good shot. But because the timing took so long to get there, I don't know if that's why, but the timing took a while to get there, and the shot doesn't go. So Kentucky's now going to have a chance to take their first lead since in the second half. Calipari burns a timeout. He wants to talk about it first. And I like that timeout call. This is a big possession for Kentucky. You really want to get a bucket here. Just make sure all your guys are on the same page and we know the look we want first. So Frederick actually stays in the game here, number 1 for Kentucky, which, I don't know Calipari. I don't know if I agree with that too much. There he is. Goes into Sheway. I'm going to be looking into Sheway. This guy hasn't really proven he can play defense on him. Go to the hoop, man. Take one look. Yep. Too easy. Way too easy. You got to send a double. You got to play a zone. You got to do something to not let this happen with a minute left in the game to take the lead. There's really no excuse for that from Jerry Stackhouse, the Vanderbilt head coach. Really no excuse. You got to know that that's the look that Calipari's going to out of the timeout in a tie ball game with a minute left. At home. There's no excuse, Stackhouse. Really. But Manjon, he wants the ball again. Vanderbilt is waiting for someone to do something. But Jordan Wright actually gets to the rim on Toppin this time. So I was talking smack on Toshibwe about his perimeter defense, but Toppin this time absolutely blows the crappy defense we saw from Toshibwe at the top out of the water. He's above the 3-point line, so he's not going to let Wright just shoot it. Wright must be a good shooter because now that's the second guy we've seen guarding him above the 3-point line. Calipari, that's coaching right there. That's good coaching. You can turn on any point of the game, and if Jordan Wright's got the ball on the 3-point line, we're going to be outside of the 3-point line guarding the ball. I'm sure that's what Calipari wants. But he gets flat-footed. I don't know if it's just good timing from Jordan Wright here. He picks the right moment to go at him, but there's no help, and Livingston is late getting here. He doesn't come at all. I don't know where he's looking, but he's not playing defense. He gets caught watching here, and he doesn't get in the help position, and it's an easy look there for Jordan Wright. Just slow, flat feet. Don't stay in front from topping. Give up the baseline, and can't do anything about it. So back to a tie ball game now. Again, Calipari's got a timeout. Vanderbilt's got 2. I might burn one again just so that we're on the same page and we can get a bucket for the same reasoning as the last possession. Toshiba's going to set a ball screen for Reeves. 2 best guys on the court. Honestly, what you want. That's the action you want. And it's not a bad look. You kind of got to live with Reeves taking this shot. Probably going to make this at least half the time. So the play starts off with, I don't really believe we're in any kind of set play right here. It's just, let's go get a bucket. If they are calling a play, it's just this ball screen action. So Toshiba, he doesn't really roll hard off of that. If he rolls harder and Reeves sets this screen up better, there's going to be better spacing and possibly a better look. But the angle that is created from this screen, it's not the right angle. I would rather see it closer to the three-point line and to the left or to the right. On these ball screens, you create space by getting lateral rather than vertical. When you're going vertical, you're attacking hard or you're dumping it to the roller. But by going lateral, it frees up the vertical look to Toshiba on the roll, or like a hesitation off the lateral screen, a hesitation, change of pace and go at him. That lateral frees up the vertical, if that makes sense. On this one, though, there's no lateral, so the spacing is kind of off, and it's just really cluttered and clogged up. Almost literally no hedge at all coming. So if he's getting pinned right here, the jumper's open, and it's the right shot. But it's just not the angle that you would really want. A lot of times coaches will tell you start right to go left or start left to go right. This time Reeves, he just doesn't start anywhere. He jabs right to go left, and it's just not too much space freed up at all. The closest guy to him on this shot is his own guy. And it's not that he's playing defense on him, but he might as well be just taking up that space near the Reeves jump shot. So Vanderbilt's definitely going to burn this timeout. They're going to have a shot to win it. Oh! He didn't burn it. Stackhouse said go. Stackhouse said go. And that could have been deadly here because Kentucky was a bit flat-footed. I don't know. They were definitely expecting the timeout. If Manjon would have just gone right past, that would have been a crazy game winner. But that's also a crazy game winner. Jordan Wright. This time, he went at Toshiba, he went at Toppin, and he went at Livingston. And the only one he didn't score on was Toshiba, who got the block. This time he scores on Livingston. Let's see where he starts. Yeah, Jordan Wright's a shooter. He's starting way outside the three-point line. But without that step, I talked about it with Toshiba. You saw Toshiba gave him that step a little bit. After the ball fake, he gave him that step a little bit, and he stayed in front and got the block. This time, Jordan Wright doesn't use the ball fake, and Livingston can't keep up. Really good spin move. Almost loses his balance there, but does a good job to stay on 2 feet and keep his feet underneath him. This is not an easy shot, fading away like that with 2 seconds on the clock in Rupp Arena against Kentucky. Not an easy shot there from Jordan Wright, but he gets it to go. See it one more time. Really, really good, strong shot right there. Ice in the veins, game time. Vanderbilt fighting to get in the tournament, man. And I got to say, after this one, they have a really fair argument. I would still, in my mind, if it comes down to between Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Mississippi State, I think Mississippi State and Missouri both have the edge on that team. I would also put Arkansas above Vanderbilt at this point as well. So if it comes down to 8 teams that are in the tournament from the SEC, Vanderbilt's probably going to be the one that's left out. But they would definitely be that 9th team, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see, like I said, where the seedings would rank out and whatnot. Kentucky, I can't see him being higher than a 5 seed at this point. I would give him a 5 or 6 seed probably. So we got CJ Frederick back in the game, number 1. Well, he's been in the game. He's like a plus 40% three-point shooter, though. Ball could go to him here, but we're probably going to go look for Reeves, I would imagine. So Reeves sets the first one for Frederick, and then he gets one for Toshiba. We could see that action happen. Starts off with 1 guy in the backcourt and then 3 basically on the half-court line. No one guarding the inbounder, so we have a home run pass open. Usually you have your tallest guy on the ball right here, but that's not what Stackhouse and Vanderbilt decided to do. They put that guy right in the middle of the court, which works out here. So I don't know how good of a decision that is, but works out on this one. It's pretty much just one-on-one man. But Reeves gets a look. He gets a look. Just doesn't go. I don't know. It's almost a travel here. He's just sped up and he doesn't get his feet. He knows he's got less than 2 seconds and speeds it up a little bit. Ends up being an air ball. So Kentucky falls at home in their last home game of the year. Really tough for these 6 seniors of Kentucky to go out like that, but they'll definitely be looking to make amends in the conference tournament and then moving on from there in the NCAA March Madness bracket as well. So moving into our second matchup of the review, we got this ASUN quarterfinal matchup between Kennesaw State and Queens Royals. Kennesaw State Owls and Queens Royals. Now, I would be lying to you if I said I knew where either of these two schools were. But I do know that the ASUN, we usually have teams like Liberty or Stetson or Florida Gulf Coast is in this conference as well. Those are the teams we usually see. But this year it's Kennesaw State with the 1 seed. Liberty or Belmont has the 2 seed. And Queens and Kennesaw State, they split their 2 regular season matchups. Queens actually won the most recent matchup on the 18th of February, 83-76. So 2 pretty evenly matched teams. We got a close one here late. Tie ball game with 3 minutes to go. Looks like we're getting a Queens player fouling out. It's B.J. McLaurin, one of their leading scorers for the Queens Royals, fouling out with 3 minutes to go. So number 1 checks in. That's Mike Fowler. Kennesaw State has a couple big dudes that play well down low. They kind of are a defensive-minded, sort of run and jump, force a lot of turnover team. But I will say that this is not the cleanest clip that we're going to take a look at here. There's a lot of questionable layup misses and a lot of missed free throws. But these mid-major teams, we got to take a look at them because they're the ones that can make the run and knock off a couple 1 seeds or 2, 3, 4 seeds and make the upsets happen. These mid-major ASUN school. See, look, we get blown layup right there, just completely smokes it. I'm pretty sure that's Caleb Matthews, number 3, or I'm sorry, that was number 2. Jaden Turner, number 2, is just smoking the layup there. So I want to keep an eye on Terrell Burden right here, I believe, number 1. Yeah, Terrell Burden, he really gets some buckets going here late. This is Youngblood right here. Chris Youngblood, he's their leading scorer, little midi jumper. Got to imagine that that's a pretty high percentage look for their leading scorer. So Kennesaw State, you can see that we got 6 lead changes, 8 ties in this one. I'm really more interested in watching this defensive positioning and how well Kennesaw State can keep Queens out of the paint, because that's what is going to be important when you're playing against those big-time 1 through 4 teams in the tournament. And I don't see anything that impresses me too much about this Kennesaw State team. It's not like they're blowing Queens out of the water and scoring 80 points a night. And their defense isn't as there's Terrell Burden, though. Terrell Burden on the offensive end. Going to be a threat along with Chris Youngblood. Going to be hard to stop for any team that they face. But on this defensive end, I'm more interested in seeing how well they can play defense. So like stuff like this right here. This triple, these 3 guys, like 3 guys up top. How do we handle this? Double handoff, ball screen sort of look. And we're talking, it looks like we're switching, and I like the way that goes through. We keep each guy in front, and we're talking, and we get a couple of switches here, so we're not out of position. But the on-ball defense, I've talked about it before. Individual defensive possessions are what is going to win close games late in March. What can you do mano-a-mano when the guy across you has the ball, and you need to stop him from penetrating and letting a good offensive look develop? What can you do to stop an offensive look from developing? And right here, this perimeter defense, I just don't see anything too earth-shattering from Kennesaw State. It's porous, to say the least. We got help not coming. Guys are watching, and this is a free look to the lane that results in a foul. So Queens is going to have it at the line here. And like I said, this free throw battle here late is really actually, let's see this Terrell Burden spin again, because that was awesome. Boop. Look at that. Look at her. Terrell, you might want to hit up that cheerleader back there. You get. She seems pretty impressed, Terrell. I don't know if you know who this is, but Mr. Burden, you have a phone call waiting to be made right there. AJ McKee, he knocks down 1 of 2 at the line for Queens, so it's a 3-point game. We get a look into Robinson, I believe, and this is a big man. That's a big man bucket right there. He's got career high 22. That's Damon Robinson. Big man down low for Kennesaw State, going at it. And on the other end, this time I'm much happier with this defensive possession here. In transition a little bit. We're back though, and it looks like we're pretty matched up. Guarding the ball, guarding this guy, guarding the trail guy, and guarding here. And Robinson, after just getting a bucket on the other end, he does a good job. Forced a tough look. I said it in the last clip. You can't go off 1 foot and expect to make this shot, because you're letting the defense of player affect the way you're putting up the shot. If you instead go into him and make him adjust the way he's playing you based on your shot, you have a lot higher chance of getting a foul call and making the look, rather than going up and trying to adjust in the air because of what he's doing. You go up into him and make him adjust based on your shot, basically. So Queens doesn't get the look to go there, and we get a rebound. Kennesaw State's going to have it. Definitely in control of this one late, but it gets pretty interesting here because Kennesaw State is unable to make a single free throw, as you'll see. It's Terrell right here. Terrell Burden. He's a 70% shooter from the line on the season. One of their leading scorers. Him and Chris Youngblood are the 2 guys that really get most of their buckets. And they put him at the line here, but he misses both. So Queens is going to have it. They're going to have a shot to bring it back down to a 1-possession game. Looking at this defense here, again, from Kennesaw State, it's just way too easy. Way too easy for this guy to get on the block. Okay, so yeah, there's no hedge coming. I'm guessing this Queens guy right here is a shooter because this slip action is really not helped out at all by this defender right here in white. And that allows 15 to get right to the baseline. And then this cut, we're just out of position based off of that drive. We get beat down the court. We're out of position here, and we don't. So these 2 guys on the backside, because we get beat here, the help comes, and now he's dropping to the corner, but that frees up this cutter, and it's just, like I said, way too easy for 2 guys to get in the lane like that and get a look at the hoop. So we're sending Queens to the line, but these mid-majors, man, I don't know if these coaches just don't work on free throws or what. Misses the front end. This is Jaden Turner at the line, guy who smoked a layup a couple possessions ago. Misses both at the free throw line. So we've had over 4 from the line here in the last 25 seconds or so. Sending Burden back to the line. Really a chance to ice it here. It's a 5-point game with 23 seconds. A chance to go up by 7 and make it a 3-possession game. Burden is going to miss the front end and goes off the front rim for the second one. So 0 for 6 now. Free throws, these mid-major schools, and Queens is going to put up a 3. Look, it's a foul call right here. So he's going to go to the line and get 3. We'll see how many he makes out of his 3. So he goes 2 of 3. You can't harp on him too much for that. Kennesaw State here being real careless with the ball. Not what I like to see from a 1 seed that's looking to get in the tournament and maybe knock a couple teams out of the big dance. No one wants the ball, apparently. I mean, gives Queens a chance to get 4 defenders in the front court and possibly get a quick steal and a layup to make it a 1-point game. And that would have just been disastrous for Kennesaw State. Luckily, they get a foul call. We're sending, it looks like Youngblood to the line now. There's a bit of an unorthodox free throw, and he misses the front end. He gets the second one to go, though. So it's a 4-point game with 10 seconds to go. Not out of reach by any means for Queens here. Quick 3 and a foul, you're right back in it. It's a 2-possession game. You gotta extend it as much as you can. So we need a quick look, 2 or 3. We get a 3. It's Ashby deep. And Ashby hits it. That's Chris Ashby. He's number 11 for Queens. And he had 12 points in their most recent matchup on the 18th. He hit 4 threes in that game. And they're just now checking him into the game for offense. So we get a quick foul. It's a 1-point game now. And Kennesaw State, these free throws are coming back to haunt them. they have a chance to lose this game now because they've gone a combined 1 for 8, I believe, from the line here in the last couple minutes. Make that 1 for 9. Youngblood can't get the front end to go. It's either 1 for 9 or 1 for 7. So Queens is going to have a shot to win it no matter what. A 2 will end up tying it because Youngblood actually hits this one. I'm sorry, he misses it. So they have a chance to win it. Any bucket will do. Oh, man. They don't even give him the shot call. It's just, you can't really make this pass here. You got 3 seconds, 1, 2. Shot's got to go up. There's a second remaining and you're trying to pass it. Less than a second and you're trying to pass it. To not even get a look there and have your season end like that after you came back from down 6 in the last 30 seconds. You had a shot to win it, and to have it end like that, definitely tough for Queens. Hopefully, we'll see Kennesaw State in the tournament. Maybe, hopefully. Maybe not hopefully, though, because I wasn't really that impressed with them in that game. But yeah, just want to take a look at that mid-major matchup. I know we were looking at SEC and Big 12 games a lot, but I think those are the teams that are going to be there at the end. I have a tentative Sweet 16 in my head at this point. I got about 12 or 13 schools that I think are going to be there, and then maybe some room for some flyers. Speaking of flyers, I think Dayton could be a flyer from a non-Power 5 school that gets there at the end. Gets to the Sweet 16, rather. So, another film review in the books. First one in March. Feels good to say that we got a film review in March done. Yeah, bracket episodes coming out as soon as the bracket gets put out. We'll be looking at games the rest of the week in the championship conference week for the regular season tournaments. I'm sure there'll be great basketball, so stay tuned for more. And yeah, thanks for watching.